Andrew Phillip Kehoe was an American mass murderer responsible for the bombing of Bath Township School in Bath, Michigan on May 18, 1927. Kehoe was born to Philip and Mary Kehoe in a family of 13 children in Tecumseh, Michigan. He attended Tecumseh High School and later attended Michigan State College, which would later become Michigan State University, where he studied electrical engineering. At college, he met his future wife, Ellen Nellie Price, who was the daughter of a wealthy family from Lansing, Michigan. After college, Kehoe worked for a number of years as an electrician until he got a severe head injury after a fall in 1912, which landed him in a hospital in a coma for 2 weeks. After recovering, Kehoe moved back in with his father. At this point, his mother had died, and his father actually remarried to a woman that Kehoe didn't like. He later moved back to Michigan, and in 1912, he married Nellie Price. It was reported that his neighbors thought he was intelligent, but they also pointed out that he was often quick to anger and became frustrated when anybody disagreed with his point of view. It was reported by his neighbors that he was a very neat and very clean person, although they did report that he would often change his shirt halfway through the day, or if his shirt wasn't perfectly clean, he would go change it as well. More disturbingly, however, it was reported that Kehoe was very cruel to his farm animals, and it was reported that he actually beat a horse to death. Some more recent analyses showed that he was a person that would remember offenses and often hold grudges for long periods of time. Eventually, he was elected to be the treasurer of Bath Consolidated Township in 1924. Though he was able to lower some taxes, he was also very argumentative with other board members. He would deliberately vote against them if he differed in opinion, and he would also call for adjournment if he didn't get his way. On more than one occasion, he accused Superintendent Emery Hike of financial mismanagement. While he was working that position, he was elected to be the Bath Township clerk in 1925. However, just a year later in 1926, he was voted out of that position, and naturally, his public loss pissed him off. It was reported by one of his neighbors that this might have been the point where he decided to start planning his murderous rampage against the community of Bath Township. Another neighbor named A. McMullen reported that he stopped working on his farm completely and that he thought he was actually planning suicide. And during all this time, Kehoe's wife was severely ill with tuberculosis. She was in and out of the hospital very often because there was no cure nor treatment for tuberculosis at the time. Kehoe decided to stop paying his mortgage payments and stop paying his homeowner's insurance payments, and this prompted his mortgage lender to start filing foreclosure proceedings against him. Sometime between May 16th and May 18th, 1927, after a hospital stay, Kehoe murdered his wife. He then moved her body from their farmhouse into one of their farm buildings, and then at this point, on May 18th, 1927, he decided to execute his murderous rampage. And about the same time, he actually had explosives arranged in several buildings in Bath School. Kehoe set a timed detonator that set off hundreds of pounds of dynamite and pyritol. Pyritol is an explosive that is repurposed World War I explosives. He bought it secretly and then planted it in both wings of the school in the basement, and it took him months to set this up. Luckily, a second round of explosives that was in the south wing did not detonate at all, which saved that half of the school. Kehoe arrived at the school at about the same time as rescuers showed up, and he got into a scuffle with Superintendent Hike. During this scuffle, he set off another round of explosives that were in his truck, which was completely loaded with shrapnel. This killed him and killed Superintendent Hike, and it injured many others. The Bath Township school disaster killed 45 people. 38 of them were children, and 6 of them were adults, including Kehoe himself. They were aged between 7 and 12 years old, in 2nd grade to 6th grade, and it is considered to be the worst mass murder in a school in United States history. Sometime after the bombings, investigators found a sign scrawled by Kehoe himself that said, "Criminals are made, not born." This is for informational purposes only. The people responsible and their actions should in no way be glorified. There are monsters among us. We must learn from our past and be preemptive. Regardless of motive, violence should always be a last resort as a method for inducing or provoking social change. Actions that lead to the taking of lives of innocent people are simply not justified.